Hello, welcome to Working Dragon Mystic and our Magical Coffee Hour. I am Drake, and I have recently, and I mean like in the last 20 minutes, just realized it is Super Bowl Sunday. I do not know either team playing, so what can I say? Um, luckily, we actually have some people in the chat already, so that's going to be cool. We got some nice things and Immortals dropping our links to our Working Dragon Mystic community and our shop. So check both of those out. I was asked earlier what team I'm rooting for. Like, since I don't know the teams, I decided I'm going to root for Working Dragon Mystic Pirate Crew. We got our Pirate Crew hats. You can go check those out. Arch Dragon, what is this you got here? Dragonomicon, what? New word made just for you. Dragonomicon oligality. I want to say I know that word. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm wanting to say, like, I'm having trouble pronouncing it, but I want to say, is that like wise, practical, logical, something like that? It has some meaning in that root or something like that. Honestly, Dragonomicon, I get that's a dragon thing. It's going to be a science one day. That is a hell of a word. I'm going to have to get my wife to help me figure out how to pronounce that. Seriously. Because she's the linguistic brain in the house. I use words like "et." He ate his biscuit. But no, actually, when I practice a scientific term and nail it, I get it pretty good. I was the only 8-year-old who knew what Cacarodon megalodon was, or Cacarodon cacaris. So, you know how that goes. That is pretty cool. That is. Hey, Skilled, glad you could make it. Skilled's actually the one who informed me it was Super Bowl. Let's see. Oh, I do want to say, everyone, I got some interesting emails this week, and it actually deals with the community. So, for getting some questions, I want to let y'all know this. I actually got an email from at least 3 different email addresses. Could have been one person. You never know how that works, right? And they were trying to tell me I'm not charging enough for our supporters, and I'm like, horse shit. There's like, for everything we're giving, the access to many of the online courses and stuff, week or monthly spell working, the fact that they get access to me very easily and quickly through the community, and access to, anytime we do live workshops with the community, they get free access to that as well. They're like, you should be charging easily $25, $50, way more than the 10 that you're charging. You're crazy. You're stupid. You know what? Here's how stupid I am, people. I'm not going to change that price. And we did a thing where I'm talking about doing a morning live stream over at the community each day. We're going to try and record it and also have a playback for anyone who can't jump in and join us live. But that's for like the whole community. And I was contemplating doing something for just the supporters. So what I'm thinking about doing for the supporters is actually do an open Zoom call once or twice a week where they can jump in, talk to me one-on-one, face-to-face, almost like a public consult where you can actually ask questions. I'll try and problem solve and give some solutions for you. Part of your stuff. So instead of raising the price, I'm going to add more perks. Ha! Take that, Mr. Emailer. So there we go. But yes, as Immortal did put down there, he put down there the link to the new community. We have moved from Locals because Locals was good to us. Don't get me wrong. Locals was absolutely good to us. But we did find a platform where we can have full live chat for supporters section, as well as for the open community, the just the members who aren't supporters. Gives us a place where we can have the online school at the same location. It literally lets us bring the whole community into a one-stop shop kind of place, which is really nice. And it's been great because I can get in there, I can answer questions, and it's really become a vibrant community. There for a while, even the Discord side, because we had to, have a chat thing over on Discord, and Discord hasn't been good to us. Let's be honest. So the Discord was dying down because there just wasn't enough use. But this community is actually allowing us to get into those conversations and stuff. We are still in some work on setting things up. We're moving more and more courses over there, but it is already a hopping and a popping, and I've had a blast with it, seeing everybody interact. It's been a lot of fun. So join us over there. Like I said, there's a free member section. And if you wish to support us, support's only $10, get you lots of perks. And more perks are coming. In fact, we do a monthly drawing where Immortal will give away a wand, a talisman, all kinds of little things. He did a video. He showed some of the stuff he gives away. So there's also giveaways for the supporters. Don't forget about those. All right, now where were we? Let's get back into this. I just had to tell you about those emails because I found them particularly funny. People's always trying to get me to charge more. And I get it. I mean, maybe they actually care and want me to make more money. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get me to bring prices up so they can make their prices look better. I don't know what it is. Maybe they feel I'm undervaluing myself. I don't know. But at the same time, I charge what I think is fair for what we do. And I do try to make it affordable because I do actually believe in what I do. So there we go. Let's see. Matthias, good to see you. Berto, welcome. Kenny, good to see you. Hello. Claw, welcome. Okay. So I was actually worried we might not get a decent turnout because of the Super Bowl. Clearly, I am actually entertaining enough to compete with the Super Bowl. Hot damn. Life goals. Let's see. Kuan Yin doing great. All right, everybody seems to be doing great. Cool. Our winner this month was Scooby. Yeah, that's right. That is correct. Scooby did win this month. Yes, he did. Congratulations, Scooby. Thomas, I'm watching you and the Super Bowl. Hey, that works too. A lot of people find it's funny because I am from the South and they're like, you don't follow sports. Not really. I never got into it. And it's kind of a twofold problem. I grew up in a household where while I'm trying to study or while I'm trying to do something, everybody was screaming at a TV and it got hard to study. So I actually kind of got a little bitter at them screaming at the TV because it's loud while I'm trying to study. But that aside, I'm also a person that like sitting and watching it isn't very fun to me. So like if I was to come home and it's just me and sit down, I don't want to watch guys running up and down a court or a field or anything. It's just not that big a deal for me. Now, I'm that guy who would prefer to be actually doing the thing. Like I understand the social aspect. Don't get me wrong. I love me some tailgating. I love hanging out with friends. I love putting money on it. In truth, when I watch the Super Bowl, it's usually because I got money on it. This year, I don't got money on it. Didn't even know it's coming around, so go figure. So for me, it was the social thing. I'm more of the, if I'm going to do sports, I want to be playing it, you know. That's just the mentality I've had. So I never got into watching it. And that gets you in trouble in the South occasionally because people's like, what's your team? I don't really have a team. And they're like, how do you not have a team? You're a Southerner. I don't have a team. But they'll assign you a team too. So if you like show up at anything and they're like, which team are you rooting for? I don't have a team. They will assign you a team. And usually it's based on how you're dressed. Which is kind of difficult for them because not a whole lot of teams really deal with black cowboy aesthetic or black whatever aesthetic you would call me. I don't know if people consider me a cowboy or not. But yeah. So if I'm at home sitting down, I'm watching I usually watch something educational documentaries. I'm just that kind of person. So otherwise I'm going to get up and tinker with something. Matthias, I actually have a question with the news site. I haven't seen all of the Norse path working on the news site yet. That is true. I do not think I have uploaded all the older videos on the news site yet. Thank you for reminding me. I think that might actually be the same for the summer path working. And that's because, quite honestly, well, at least the summer path working, if you're coming in at late, those earlier videos aren't going to do you any good know-how. I should probably try to get the Norse path working pre-videos uploaded. I do apologize for that. I do know that like the supporters, you have access to it. They are still over at locals if you still have access to it, but I know supporters a lot are moving their support over to the new site for those who can. So I will try to get that done actually. Can I add that to my calendar? Let's see if I can get that on my calendar real fast. There we go. There, I stuck it on the calendar for tomorrow. So I will try to make that a priority for tomorrow, Matthias. Thank you for reminding me. You guys are great at keeping an eye on me and making sure I'm getting things and not missing them. I do appreciate that. And I will be working to get more of the current courses over there as well. Last week, I didn't get any courses transferred over. Last week was just cray. It went insane. But yeah. So I get you. Birdo, I need help finding a ring. Can you help? I don't know. I don't usually do finding things. Like I don't, yeah, because there's a lot of things that goes wrong with divinations. I weirdly, somebody on here had me try to do it on the spot one time, and I think it worked. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Immortal, Pipe Smoking Heathen, or Skilled. It seems like it was one of those three. But yeah, Lucifer would be a good one to check with. Crap. I want to say Odin. I've always had good success with Odin helping me walk around and find things pretty easily. His wisdom comes in handy. Charnu, sports are only fun when you yell at the players and they yell back. I can understand that. Kenny, I prefer MMA. See, I actually do prefer MMA. And actually, I do like, what was it? Ninja Warrior, I think is what it was called. That is something I did enjoy because as someone who enjoys working out, doing calisthenics and understanding what actual body strength is, that is something that it registers with stuff I do or used to be able to do because I martial arts was very important to me for a long time and still is actually. Injuries got me a bit fat and flabby, but working on getting actually my goal is to get back into fight condition. Seriously, point blank. So yeah, I get that one. I do. Thomas Goth Cowboy. Well, same. Never been into sports. Love doing physical activity. And see, it's just those things. Like it really is. And I have no issue with sports. There's a lot of people who like jump up and down. Sports are stupid. I don't agree with that. Like, I know a lot of people who not only do they enjoy playing, not only do they get out there and do it, but much like with me and calisthenics, like I can relate to Ninja Warrior if I sit down and watch it. It's not one of the first things that pops up. Like it's really not something I look forward to watching if I watch it, but I can relate to it more because it's something I do more. And as much as I can enjoy playing a sport, they're not where I spend my free time either. Because I did spend it with more like the calisthenics workout, the martial arts, the outdoors, camping, survival training, those kinds of things. Those are the things where I spent my time. And I think just naturally you're going to gravitate to that, right? Like my nephews did play sports and they watched sports and, they had a bit more logistics. Like they were breaking down what was going on in their head more than just people running up and down. So I think that really makes a difference. Let's see. Let's see. Getting in fighting shape is tough. It is. It is. It really is. And when I was back at my fight, when I was in my fight condition, I had a lot more physical work. So I was always lifting and doing things that would all automatically condition muscle just by going through my day, which ain't something I got now. And it's going to be a little harder. But hey, I love a good challenge. Life ain't fun if you ain't got a good challenge. Um, let's see. Skilled, when you're over in Tacoma, Washington, let me know. Are you in Tacoma, Skilled? For some reason, I thought you were on the East Coast. I can try to do that. I don't actually know. Will I be in Tacoma at any point? I don't know. I know that we were looking at potentially getting everybody over to crap. I can't think of it. There was a paranormal location. I want to say it's in Port Townsend that we were trying. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get everyone in that. But if I can figure something out, if I'm over in an area in Washington there, I can let you know. Maybe meet up, have a cup of coffee or something. Because yeah, I've got no problem like that. There were a few people like when we drove cross country for our move, right? There were plenty of people. It was weird for me, not because people noticed me, but because people actually did recognize me, right? So we'd be stopping at a gas station or a McDonald's or a truck stop to grab food, fuel up, whatever it may be. And it was just weird because I'm sitting there paying. Over in the corner, you hear these people like, "Hey, is that guy? Is that the dragon guy from YouTube?" No, that's not. I'm telling you, that's him. And they would not walk up and say hi. There's a few of them I said hi to. But if you all see me, if I'm at Starbucks, if I'm at a mall, if I'm at Walmart, I don't care. You are welcome to come up and say hi. I don't mind it. I'm actually a very talkative guy. My wife might scurry off. She's not social, but I got no issues with it. Now, that being said, there's a few of them who are talking about recognize me while I'm at the John and the truck stop. Do me a favor, don't approach when I'm taking a leak. At least let me get over here to wash my hands before you say hi, please. That's just courtesy, people, courtesy. That's the one stipulation. Berto, Northwest. I'm in Portland. That is cool. That is cool. I don't get to the Oregon area nearly as much as I used to. Like we used to travel through there so often for different reasons, and like we used to stop at Voodoo Donuts. I don't know if after COVID it's still there. I think somebody told me it's still there and rocking and rolling. But I've also heard Portland's almost turned into a ghost town, and that's kind of weird. But I used to. It was a beautiful area. I'm not much of a city guy. I don't really like cities in general. Like driving through, visiting them, yeah, fine. But I don't want to ever live in one. I've lived in them before and I didn't like it. I definitely like where I can get out into the nature. But that said, Portland is a gorgeous state. It really is. I have been into Portland a lot for some Sasquatch events and stuff like that, and I had a lot of fun. It's gorgeous country up there. Let's see, Matthias. If the invitation is open, I'd find my way. I like that, Matthias. Like, if the invitation's open for coffee, I'm coming. Oh Lord. Thomas, the dragon guy is a good. It's a fair description. It is. Like it's weird to me because I don't see me as anything special, much less something to get nervous and not feel like you can walk up and talk to me. I just don't get it. So yeah, if y'all see me, if you recognize me, come up and say hi. I'm usually pretty noticeable though, because I mean, on this channel, I wear mainly the 2 hats you'll see me in. On this channel, I've wore all the 3 hats that I wear the most, which is that wide-brimmed black fedora, the wide-brimmed Aussie crushable felt, and this one. Those are the hats that if I'm in public, I've probably got one of those on. So I stick out like a sore thumb, and I usually have a black jacket. If not, I at least have my vest on. So yeah, I stick out like a sore thumb. Drake, during my spiritual journey, my connection with dragons came back again, and with, say, a new baby dragon, what do you suggest or recommend when dealing with a new dragon or anything? With anything, just take the time to get to know them, talk to them, treat them with respect, just like you'd try to get to know anyone, period. And just because it's small, it's not a baby. If it's around you, it's not a baby. Clear up. We have this thing with small as baby. It's not. If it's outside the hatchery, it's not a baby because they're not allowed out of the hatchery till then. Even the little dragons that we usually see guardian dragons babysit, a lot of people like to think of those as babies. They're not babies. They're actually older than us. They're well over 100 years old by that point. But yeah, I just sit down and talk with them, get to know them. Question for you: what are ghosts trying to accomplish when they do the thing where they dive bomb you / swoop over you fast? They may not be trying to accomplish anything, in truth. So here's the thing. We're never alone, technically speaking, on the spiritual level. If you were to open your arcane sight fully, I don't care where you are, what ward you're behind, the spiritual realm is always going to be there, right? You open it up, it's like, I've said it before, it's not Madison Square Garden. It's Times Square on New Year's Eve. Everybody's packed in like sardines. You're going to see enough ghosts around you for that. Anywhere. There's literally no place I've ever been where the spirits were not that clustered. The question is, which ones do we notice, right? That's generally the thing comes first. And most people pick up on the ones that either A, have the most energy, or B, are the closest to the physical realm. So a lot of the things that we see, like the spirits swooping and dive bombing, a lot of them are just swooping around, having fun or moving, and most of them don't realize you see them. Most of them have no clue you see them. Others may realize you see them and may do it for fun to try and spook you or scare you or whatnot. There's a fair chance I'd be that asshole ghost that if I could haunt somebody and scare them and pull practical jokes, I might do it. I know for a fact there's many people in my life who I know personally I have plans to haunt and bug, and you can call it torment if you want. I don't care. But I view it more as practical joke. So, yeah, but then you do have the random ones, and there's plenty, that they wander around. They might be bored. They're very, very used to not being noticed. And then they realize, oh, here's a human that can notice me. And then they may try to do something like that. Yes. And they may just try to get a rise out of you. That's true. But I'm not going to say there's not that small category where some are trying to get our attention for some reason. But those reasons can be as varied as anything that motivates anyone, right? Even take video gamers. You get 10 video gamers in a room, sit them down and ask them why they play video games. You're going to get 10 different answers why they're motivated to play video games, okay? Same thing with magicians. You get us in there, what motivates you to practice magic? You're likely to get 10 different answers. Ghosts are no different than us, and their motivations are going to vary. But in my experience, most of them honestly don't even realize we see them until it's too late. If that makes sense, Rainbow. That is a good question, though. Matthias, remember to leave. Yes, remember to give us a thumbs up. It does help the channel a lot. We got 21 people in here and only 9 thumbs. Let's try and get it up to 21 people and 25 thumbs. Let's see. Kenny, I had a hat like that one, but my ex-wife threw it away because she hated it. See, I'm lucky. I got a wife, like, if she don't like it, she'll let me wear it. That's just it, plain and simple. Luckily, she actually married a man who dresses the way she actually likes. Like, she actually likes my personality. She knew the stupid things I get into. She's not trying to change me in my life. The irony is, like, you say your wife hated it and threw it away. Truth be told, most of the women I grew up around were that. And I actually swore at a very early age that I would never get married because I'm not putting up with that shit. I am not going to have somebody tell me who I can be friends with. I'm not going to have somebody tell me what I can wear. I'm not going to get into all those arguments. Like, I just saw drama. I was pretty much determined to be a single hermit. And life threw Sephi at me, and she changed my mind because I actually found what I still to believe this day is a one-of-a-kind woman. So, Jason, welcome. Mugs up to you. Glad you could join us. Drake, are you familiar with Brian Bates and his book, The Real Middle Earth? Apparently, he talks about dragons and dragon magic plus other stuff in either that or another book of his. That is not one I am actually familiar with. I'm not. I've seen a few books basing magic and stuff around Middle Earth and a lot of things that were trying to paint. Like, I've seen some that actually try to paint Middle Earth as not a creation, but as it actually existed. And I'll be honest, the ones I've read, I don't give it much credibility. I don't think that's what you're talking about here with Brian Bates. I think, well, I mean, could be, but he could be going a different direction. I don't know his work, so I don't know. I'd have to look it up if I get a chance. I may have to look it up. And actually, me and like my wife are looking at taking like a full week off around our anniversary, maybe doing like a week-long excursion to a casino or spa or something. And I would need some reading material, so I may look into maybe grabbing that for that point. Because it would be an interesting concept. That's not to say I've never found a use in those comparisons. Like, I find comparison books fascinating from a philosophical standpoint. But when somebody takes a fictional world and tries to say this author's channeling Lumeria or Atlantis and they didn't know they were channeling it, well, there's about 50 books saying different authors are channeling different things, and they're nowheres in the ballpark of being the same. Yeah, there's a difference in a philosophical comparison, and you literally think you're trying to make this fictional world exist. When they try to make something fictional a reality, that's when I kind of start rolling my eyes, if that makes sense. And ladies, if you're here, and what I said about, the women I was exposed to growing up, if you're not that, don't worry about it. Just because I was exposed to annoying women growing up doesn't make all women annoying. So don't take that as personal, please. Let's see. Practical jokes as a ghost. Kenny and I have talked about that many times. LOL. I mean, I think most people, even non-practitioners, have had that discussion. I really do. Like, what would you do if you could, right? And I think it's a perfectly acceptable conversation. Let's see. Halftime, so you might get more or less. Oh, halftime. I know people who literally despise sports and will still watch it for the halftime show. Same drama is why I don't focus on dating anymore. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, and this is something like I've told people all my life, and it so far every one of them it's panned out for if they stuck to it. And it's don't focus on dating. Don't go out there looking for a relationship. Don't get out there and try to find that special someone. Be happy with you. Make your life happy for you. And when you're comfortable in your skin and your life and that thing, you're going to find that special someone, whether it's a special crazy person, that whatever, you'll find them. More often than not, I've rarely seen anyone find them while looking. That's just my 2 cents on it. Actually, that leads me to something I was wanting to talk about tonight. Let me get this last question at the bottom. Claude, in your opinion, would creating a grounding servitor be useful? Would it ever do a better job at grounding you than you would yourself? I'd actually say it'd be hit or miss. I actually don't think it would be as useful as you, because servitors generally have to follow a programming. Well, they do have to follow programming. And because of that, you're not going to be able to get a servitor that can actually get all the little nuances of an effective grounding practice, because there's more to grounding than just grounding out energy. And I really don't think it would be an effective one. I really don't. There may be people who would disagree with me, but in all those little nuances and stuff, the nuances matter. So I don't personally think it would, no. But what I was going to talk about, so one of the things that I was thinking on, and this is something my mentor taught me. And in the Mage Minded series, we've talked about, a lot of things. But one of the questions I have gotten in my email is, how do you know yourself? How do you get to know yourself? Because when in Mage Minded, we talk about know who you are, figure you out, right? And people keep asking me, how do I know who I am? And this is something a mentor of mine hit me with. And the way he said it, it's kind of harsh, but it's true. He said, who you are right now, who you are is who you are if you are left alone with nothing but yourself. You don't have TV, you don't have radio, you don't have technology. You are left alone with nothing but you and your thoughts, right? He said, if you don't like to be alone with yourself, if it makes you anxious, if it makes you nervous, if it makes you afraid, if you get depressed, then you are honestly anxious, nervous, and depressed with who you are right now. That sounds harsh. That does. I was like, that's awful, dude. But he's right, because all those other things are a distraction. All those other things affect how we interact. Like, there's plenty of people, they're very happy with themselves and who they are around people, right? They're happy to be around people. But if you set them down on a log in the woods or in a hotel room with no technology, no communications of any kind, you unplug the TV and everything, and leave them with nothing but their own thoughts and maybe a notebook to write their thoughts in, they become very displeased with their line of thoughts, their emotional state, and all those things. And when we remove the distractions, you really do start to see who you are. And this is something, you see it a lot, because everybody's like, we talked about it, I want to say might have been the integrity video. Did we do the integrity video yet? I think it was. But what if you do something, if you try to prove you're a good person by doing something because eyes are on you, right? You want the kudos for it. You want all the, yay, you're a good person. You did it. Look at you. The approval or whatever. you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. If it's something you wouldn't do when no eyes are on you, no one's looking, you didn't do it because that's what you would do, what you believed. You did it because, the attention we're getting. And that's a huge thing. That's something a lot of people miss. But at the same time, like if you can figure out who you are when you're like sitting there alone, truly, and left to your own thoughts, and you can get comfortable and happy with your own thoughts, and you can live your life happily, it's insane how empowering that is. And it's hard. It's hard. We did a couple years back, we did a challenge to just unplug, right? Just unplug from technology for like a few days or a week. Most of our members found it extremely difficult to just unplug from technology. That's not socializing or anything. But if you can, I would challenge everyone here. I would challenge you, find 24 hours or 48 hours where you can isolate yourself some way, whether it's going out in the woods camping where it's just you and the birds and the noise, or whether you have to go to a hotel room and not turn on the TV and everything, and you just stay there with your notepad and some groceries that you brought in to eat on, and you're left with your own thoughts. Spend 24 to 48 hours with your own thoughts, nothing else. Turn your phone off. It's an insane practice. It really is, because getting left alone with your thoughts and really starting to go through the mental, emotional joyride, roller coaster ride anyways, whether it's joyful or not can be a question, but the roller coaster and starting to work through some of that stuff is crazy, because whether we get bored, whether we get antsy, whether we start to get a little spooked by the darkness, whatever it is, usually we can flip our phone open, we can read, we can send a message, we can go to YouTube, whatever. We can turn on the TV, all kinds of things. We have no shortage of distractions. Unfortunately, that's also pulling us away from actually knowing who the hell we are. If that makes sense. I'll try to actually do a video where I can actually articulate it better. Oh, no problem, Chloe. I'm always happy to help. Okay. The seats are empty. The theater is dark. Why do you keep acting, Charles Burkowski? Yeah, he likes what he's doing. He's doing it for him. And it does make a difference. Kenny, my phone and everything does not come on for the first 1 or 2 hours when I get up. And that's a good thing. Like, part of the reason I love getting out in the woods is no phone, no nothing. It's just me. I try to do that regularly. And it can be hard. And now I said 24, 48 hours. If you've never done it, try for 24, right? See how you can do. Try for 24 and work your way up. Seriously, work your way up. Because if you can work your way up to like a week, that's amazing. I know individuals who actually like completely save up all their off time, all their vacation time. They will take an entire month every year where they go to a cabin and it's just them and their own thoughts. Once a year, a whole month, completely unplugged, completely isolated. And I'm not going to lie, I've considered doing it myself. I don't have the luxury to be able to go up in a mountain cabin or whatnot, and I got to figure out how I would make it happen. That's kind of the logistics is stopping me. But I have thought about it. At the same time, I don't think a month would be hard on me because I've done it. When my wife goes on deployment, before I started working Dragon Mystic, it was not uncommon for me to just, other than going grocery shopping and getting groceries, I saw no one. I was very much left alone to my thoughts. And I always utilize that time when she's deployed or she's on a training debt or something to make use of that isolation. And it is a good habit to make sure your phone is off and get some time. Mornings are a great time, especially you can get up, do your morning routine, your meditations, shut that shit off. It's amazing. Let's see, Charnu, this is coincidence. I just finishing this, spent 16 hours until jumping on MCH and a supper break. Hey, there you go. 16-hour unplug. See, there you go, Charnu. There you go. It's amazing. It really is. I know too many people who get antsy and depressed and all this when they're alone. And that's not a good state for you to be in if self-mastery and empowerment is actually your goals. You should be able to be happy and joyful with yourself. Let's see, Thomas. Also, I think that meditation discipline, whenever you are left to your own devices, is something I still struggle with. Yeah, meditation can help build that discipline, and it's a great tool when you are left by yourself. And it's hard. It really is. The Norse have a meditation. I usually butcher the name. It's Udisetva, I think is how it's pronounced. It roughly translates to sitting out. You see this in a lot of shamanic cultures where essentially you go out into the woods or go out to some place where you're by yourself. You isolate yourself and you sit down and you meditate and you enter a trance state and you stay there until either a certain time has passed or certain goals are met, depending on how you do it. There are people who would do this seeking wisdom and answers, and they would sit there for weeks on end until they got that wisdom or answer. I mean, it got crazy. But shamanism can get quite intense like that. But then there's some who would just do it as like a spiritual check-in or a mental check-in, where they would do it from dusk till dawn, right? They'd go out there, they'd set their camp up, get everything ready for sundown, and all night long they would sit out, meditate, think, process. They wouldn't go to sleep, and then sun would come up, they'd pack up and go home. There's some people who would do it for days, right? There's a lot of these little practices like that that add so much, and they do build discipline, and they can be hard. It's not like, I mean, it's not easy, even for people who have a good daily meditation practice. Like, I can drop into meditation like this. I can do trance like this. You take them to the woods and set them down and say, all right, don't move. It gets hard. It gets hard. It gets a little next level there because you are exposed to, and to do this meditation correctly, you can't necessarily be at home. You need to be someplace out of your comfort zone. Is the ideal of it. It's not always as possible these days, but ideally you would be. But yeah, meditation, it does help, but it's a skill, and it's one that we have to apply it. Allison wants, yeah, if you can't meditate in a boiler room, you can't meditate. I've actually said something similar. My mentor, when he was teaching me to meditate, his ideal, I don't know if he'd ever heard that quote, but at least the way he was taught to view it, which he was taught in Japan, but if I couldn't sit down at a 80s rock concert right by the speaker and meditate, I couldn't meditate. That was his mentality. And oh God, did he test that? Ooh. It's amazing I ain't deaf. Selective hearing, just ask my mama, but I ain't deaf. So yeah, having the ability to focus. Now, one thing that trips people up with meditation, in my opinion, is so many people think you just have to drop mind. You have to have an empty head the whole time. There's a lot of other meditations other than dropping mind. Dropping mind can help for relaxation to some people, and other people's it's a stressor. It's not the only meditation out there. In fact, I would say it's one of the least useful meditations in a lot of cases. I find focused meditation far more valuable in practically all of their applications. And people, when they learn about focused meditation, are like, I didn't know I could do this. I thought I had to have an empty brain the whole time. Nope, you don't have to have an empty brain the whole time. Um, let's see, what is this here about? Can you explain what alchemy is? Like, if you work with demons, you gain demonic alchemies. Okay, well, alchemy is a broad term. So, alchemy deals with the study, understanding of different elements and the transmutation or change of them. There's a lot of different thought processes in this. There is definitely physical side of alchemy. There is also a spiritual side of alchemy. And on the spiritual side of alchemy, you can work with any entity, angels, demons, doesn't matter. It's about a transmutation of etheric energies that affect you. Okay. Dragon alchemy even focuses on this. We talk about dragon alchemy in Dragon Magick 102 and how you can shift around certain etheric patterns or energy patterns, as some people might call them, and boost the concentration of some while lowering others to cause certain effects. Like if you have a hot temper, you're likely going to have a lot of fire energy in there. And if you're going into a situation, you know it's going to be grating, you know it's going to be annoying. Kind of like there's certain people in my life that their sheer presence just pisses me off. They're that annoying. I would want to tamp down some fire and probably bring up something a bit more calming. And calming is going to be different for everybody. For me, I actually do find water extremely calming. So some people want to bring up the earth element. Some people want to bring up water. Some people will bring up air, but you want to bring those out. And when you are bringing them up, because I'll be honest, all three of those can be calming to me. I also look at what am I going for, right? If I want to, if it's something that deals with business and whatnot, honestly, I tend to like to bring up air because I want to be more logical and thoughtful. I don't want to bring up water because that's going to be more on an emotional side. I don't want to be emotional. If I'm going into a rocky or chaotic situation, I might pull up some earth energy there. But there's a lot of different methodologies for applying alchemy. It's not just one singular thing, but spiritual alchemy can be done with any entity out there. Oh, Dragon Alchemy is amazing. Like I've gotten so many amazing stories from students who have signed up for Dragon Magick 102 and utilizing Dragon Alchemy and the different ways that they've utilized it. Like I literally didn't even scratch the surface with that discussion. But it also takes like you got to get through 101 and a lot of the basic Dragon Magic stuff before you can actually move into that really well. But it is an amazing practice. And if you are interested, go check out the Dragon Magic courses. You'll love them. See, Matthias, I had something similar. My job is like being in isolation chamber in a way. For a few months, I had no way to listen to anything in there. Unfortunately, this was also during a really difficult time. Yeah, those difficult times can hit us. They really can. And honestly, it's weird, but I'm that person like I've said it before, and my friends, even the ones who's known me the longest, it's still kind of bizarre to them because I almost look forward to difficult times because life is throwing an obstacle at me. It's throwing a challenge at me. And I freaking love that. There's a part of me that just loves overcoming a challenge that's not in my control to just remove the challenge, right? There's a lot of things, like video game challenges. People's like, well, if you want good challenges, just play hard video games. that's a challenge you can take away. You can just turn that off and nothing changes, right? Nothing changes. You can just walk away from it. Those types of challenges I don't find as interesting because it's a 100% self-controlled challenge. I'm putting myself there. The challenges that really drive me and interest me are the ones that I'm not in control of the challenge. All I'm in control of is how do I handle it? How do I overcome it? How do I make it through the storm, as it were? Those are the challenges that I look forward to. Those are the challenges I love. Now, I'm not going to say it's all sunshine and rainbows because usually those kinds of challenges are a shit show, let's be honest. But those are the ones I look forward to because those really kind of put a mirror on us and show us kind of who we are and what can we handle. I've been going through a lot of things right now with family and other things, but I've not let it get me down. I've actually let it motivate me. Like I've been doing a lot better in my personal training and my personal health because of things my family's going through. And I'm trying to be there for them and all these other things, So, yeah, I'm not actually as crazy as my friends sometimes think. There is logic to the madness, as it were. But at the same time, those very friends, they know that I am a person that they can rely on because of this, but thankfully I also have friends that are mindful of this, so they don't just dump everything on me. Thankfully, I have plenty of people in my life who, since it would appear Drake doesn't have a limit, they just keep dumping. And then they're surprised when I look at them and say no, because I also know where my limits are. And if it's starting to affect my life, my work and stuff, suck it up, buttercup, go take care of it yourself. Oh yeah, sword training, martial arts and stuff like that is amazing for meditation. I love movement meditation. Movement meditation is one of my favorites. I utilize it when I do dishes. I utilize it when cleaning. I utilize it when I get to go for walks and stuff. Like I love it. I really do. As much as I do love trance work and focus meditation and stuff, I do love movement meditation. And you can actually combine them. Anyone who's taken the meditation course knows this. Just because you're doing movement meditation and it's technically set aside and taught separately from focus meditation, people's like, well, you can't do the two. Yes, you can. Like if you're dealing with a question, if you're trying to solve a problem and you're just not figuring it out, you don't have to sit in the floor and do your focus meditation. You can get out there, you can go for a walk, you can do some martial arts, katas and stuff, and focus on it and meditate the same way. Why do you think throughout the ages, when people have had problems, one way or the other, they're wrestling with something? It could be emotional, it could be financial. One of the easiest ways to clear their head and find the solution has always been go for a walk. It's one of the historical ways to clear your head and figure out a problem. Just go for a walk. It's not a coincidence. It actually really works. They may not know it's a form of movement meditation. They don't have to know it, but it works, and it works amazingly. Let's see, Matthias, I have thankfully gotten to the point I can do movement meditation to agree at my job within the realm of safety. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. You do need to make sure you're doing movement meditation safely. I've done some factory work. Believe me, factory work can be mind numbing, but it's also a great time to shift into that meditation stuff. I know a lot of factory workers who they took the meditation course and they're like, this has been a game changer for my life. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, not only do I love the meditation, not only is the meditation like boosting aspects of my life, but I work in a factory and all I do all day is like they'll be polishing something or checking something. And it really doesn't take any brain power. It's just manipulate, it's just and now they're applying that movement meditation technique and they're working 12, 16-hour shifts where they're just working on things in their life metaphysically through movement meditation. And like, it's insane. Like when I was doing some of those factory jobs and some of the jobs that honestly they didn't take brain power. They were physical, they were good exercise, but they didn't take brain power. I wished I had known about meditation and stuff at the level I do now, because I would have utilized that as an ace in the hole. I really would have. I really would have. Um, so yeah, I get that. It's just you got to make sure you can do it safely, because there are definitely conditions where you probably shouldn't do that, right? Like flight deck work in the military or in the Navy. You probably don't want to be movement meditating on a flight deck. That's one of the most dangerous jobs in the military because so many things can go wrong, and you got to have your head on a constant swivel. Not being fully there because you're meditating while trying to do something it'd be a great way to get you ran over by F-15 or F-18. Probably not a good idea. So yeah, great questions. Oh my God, have we actually been on here 55 minutes already? What the hey, people? Let's see. Yeah, I gotta make sure I don't blast a hole through my hand. Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, that would do it. That would definitely do it. Yeah, I mean, we can find a lot of ways and a lot of different levels. And, if you can throttle how deeply you're sinking into the meditation, which some people with practice can, some people can't. I've known people like they want to stay very, very light and aware of their surroundings. But once they hit that nice, relaxed, groovy spot, they just start sinking deeper. And they just can't keep themselves right here at this fully aware but relaxed spot. And that's understandable because sometimes we are at a point where we need that relaxation and our bodies are going to try and drag us to it the moment they hit it. And if that's you, yeah, you don't want to be doing it in a dangerous situation. You want to do all the things that you're doing and you want to put it as safely as possible, right? And that's one of the big keys. I've seen a lot of practitioners and occultists out there say, to hell with safety, blah, 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 full steam ahead. And that's just really, really stupid advice. It really is, because there's so many things that can go wrong. And not even in the occult, just in everyday life, you got to use your brain, people. Like late last year, I heard somebody went hiking in Crocs with like 100 pounds of gear and died because they went on an advanced trail, first time ever going hiking. Most people don't think general hiking or backpacking dangerous, especially on like a 2-day trip. But they were hitting a trail in California that's known to be treacherous. It's known to be bad weather. It's actually relatively heavy snow and everything in those mountains. And he went up there in Crocs with like 100 pounds of gear, got a mechanical injury, and died. Just because he didn't use common sense. Now, anyone passing away is tragic. Don't get me wrong there. But it's an avoidable thing if they, used a brain. So even if you're starting hiking, start, on simpler trails. Get to know your body hiking, because there's a very big difference. And I know people who go out in the woods for well over a week and don't take 100 pounds of gear. So I don't know what the hey he was carrying. I don't carry 100 pounds. But yeah, and definitely don't go in Crocs. What the hell? Not saying Crocs don't have a place. Like if you're sitting around the house, I understand they can be comfortable, but they also make good shoes for by the pool. And you'll see them at people at Walmart a lot. But outside of that, I don't really know many uses for them. Like I got comfortable house shoes. That don't mean I'm wearing them hiking. Yeah, the Crocs really threw me off. Like the 100 pounds of gear, don't get me wrong. The 100 pound of gear, I was like, wait, what? Like the bushcrafter in me, the person who loves to be in the outdoors, all that stuff. Yeah, my brain was trying to calculate that. And then I saw wearing Crocs. I was like, what? Like my brain completely derailed and just got stuck on the Crocs. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either. I will admit they can be comfortable. They can be, but like they have so many functional problems. I'm just not a fan of them. I think I had one pair of Crocs that I got because somebody's like, they're so comfortable. They're the best house shoe you'll ever have. Blah, 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 blah. I tried them once and I wore the hell out of them. I'm not going to lie, but not a fan of them. Not a fan of them. No. I'm actually at the point where if I need a house shoe, this is going to sound weird, but I just go put my boots on. Do I have house shoes anymore? I think I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I just haven't been wearing them. I just tend to put my boots on because I get up and get dressed anyway, so I might as well have my boots on. But I'm that weird guy. But if you like your Crocs and you're wearing them, you wear them. You be you. But don't go hiking in them, please. Safety first, people. Safety first. Some people like them for kitchen working shoes. I've never saw. Really? Because at least the pair I had were slick as shit. Like I couldn't imagine working in a kitchen because I've done line cook. I've worked in kitchens a lot. Actually, I was the main cook on shift before, and I honestly think if I was wearing Crocs, I'd fall and busted my head wide open. I really do. Maybe I had a cheap, stupid pair. I don't know. Maybe they make them better. I don't know. But that sounds crazy to me. And since I've only ever owned one pair, I can't say I am an expert on Crocs. I'm not going to try that. But that just sounds like I foresee me falling on my ass in the kitchen if I wore them. That's what I would say. Huh. Well, they do. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I prefer a nice combat boot or even a hiking boot. I don't really wear tennis shoes. I would rather have a hiking boot that's cut low, closer to a tennis shoe than a tennis shoe. That's just me. Immortal, they have non-slip, and if you get your shoes really dirty, it is easy to clean them. There's no doubt there. So yeah, I guess if they have the non-slip one versions, that would make sense. Because ultimately, that's what you're looking for is a comfortable non-slip shoe. So, I mean, if you can get them in non-slip, I see the reasoning. I do. I see the reasoning. If you can get them in non-slip, that weirdly, that's a practical reason. You got me logically. So. I know a few people who got super sauce poured in their shoes, but I just be careful. Yeah. Yeah, you work in a kitchen, you're going to get stuff dumped on you. That's just the way that is. Like, I don't think it's visible. No, it's not really visible. I don't want. Well, yeah, it is. It's right there. Like I got this big scar right here. It's not visible on camera anymore, but almost every cook I know gets this scar at some point in their career. And it's where they've reached over to get something on the back of the stove and they burn the living shit from another pan right there. And it'll blister up all nice and nasty. It's funny because you get people who's worked in a kitchen sitting around, they all have it. It's usually here or it'll be here. It's that reach over scar. It's almost a badge of honor. It really is. All right, everybody. I am going to get ready to hop off here and go bug the missus. You all have a fantastic time. Do remember, we are going to we're going to try and start doing a morning live stream over at the online community. Immortal, if you can drop another link to the online community That will be recorded, but it will only be re-uploaded over at the community. We're going to make a little playlist over there. We're going to start doing that. It'll be a place where you can come in, ask questions. And since it's not on the YouTube, we can ask more questions a bit more openly than we can on here for the community, right? And for our supporters, I'm going to try and do a open Zoom call where I can get in and actually chat with you all and work through some things, help you all with some things. It kind of like think of instead of a consult, it's like a group thing that would work similar to a consult. So you'd be limited somewhat on, how much you're willing to share, I guess. But other than that, that's going to be for supporters. And I'll try and jump the Zoom call around at different times so supporters can take advantage of it. I'm looking to try this one, I think either Thursday or Friday afternoonish is when I'm going to try and do this week's. Okay. So keep an eye out. I'll make sure to try and post it so people can get what time in the morning. I'm not 100% sure what time in the morning. We're still working out the details on the morning one. It might be, I think the earliest it would be Eastern Standard Time with my schedule and everything would be 10 a.m., which if you live on the Pacific Coast, that would be around 7 or 8 a.m. On the Pacific Coast. Yeah. So it'd be before noon, but due to the coast and time zones, it'd be somewhere in that ballpark is what I'm going to try and shoot for. So ideally, I'm hoping to be able to get into the office, get enough done that I can go live and have it around that ballpark time scale. For the morning one. The Zoom call one for supporters, that'll probably be an afternoon one, most likely. If morning would be better, supporters, if you're watching this, let me know in the supporter chat over at the community. But otherwise, I think I'm going to shoot for afternoon. All right, everybody, take care. Have a fantastic week. If you're rooting for somebody in the Super Bowl, I hope your team wins. And if you're not rooting, at least enjoy the food. Because after hearing Super Bowl, I wanted freaking hot wings. And I ain't got no hot wings. So I'm probably going to have to go out and snag some hot wings this week. We'll see what happens. All right, everybody, take care. Good night.